I'm excited to see some of these kids get out and do some things, get throwers out there and throw in.
Yeah.
They've been eager for a while. And
I think we played some high-level volleyball the last few weeks, so I know we're ready. So we just have to hope that the moment doesn't get bigger than what it is. But there's a sense of familiarity since we play Concordia St. Paul. We feel good about that matchup.
We're finally figuring out placement, like where to go, where to cut, where to round behind people who are driving and flipping their hips. So the assist category, we always want to have more assists than we do turnovers. And that took us a while to figure that out. But again, in practice, we're doing a lot better taking care of the ball.
For us, it's going to be not the past, not who they've been, not who we've been, not the records, but it's about our process. It's about what we've done this year to prepare ourselves to become the best team that we can possibly be.
You're listening to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill in St. Joseph, Missouri. It's our live weekly chat with Missouri Western coaches and athletes. Here's your host for the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast, Tommy Rezach.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy December. Welcome back. It is the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast on a Monday, December 2nd, 2024. I'm Tommy Rezach, Director of Broadcasting at Missouri Western State University, and we're just pleased to welcome you back. Welcome everyone back from a fall break, a holiday break, and we're off and running with another big week on our campus for Missouri Western Athletics. Missouri Western Indoor Track and Field starting its season this Saturday in Maryville. Missouri Western men's and women's basketball open MIAA play tomorrow in Maryville at Northwest Missouri State. And, of course, Missouri Western volleyball getting ready to embark on its journey in the NCAA tournament, the first bid for the program in 7 years. We learned the tournament fate for volleyball a week ago today. The Griffons will take on, of course, Concordia St. Paul in St. Cloud, Minnesota this Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Time. Happy to say that the Varsity Network app, gogriffons.com/listen, the Griffon Sports Network will have a live radio broadcast of that NCAA tournament match against Concordia St. Paul. So myself and Cole Weiberg and many others from the athletic department will be there to cover that great event from Hallenbeck Hall in St. Cloud, Minnesota. St. Cloud State, the regional host of that NCAA Central Region tournament. And, we'll be making that trip up there this week. Of course, basketball, they've got a double dip of conference hoops going on this week. We're at Northwest on Tuesday, kind of a rare Tuesday trip. We're usually at Bearcat Arena on a Saturday, but Tuesday, December the 3rd, men's and women's basketball playing Northwest Missouri State, the women at 5:30, the men at 7:30. Well, you'll hear that right here on the Griffon Sports Network, the Varsity Network app, gogriffons.com/listen. And then Saturday, Missouri Western men's and women's basketball home to the Emporia State Hornets, which will be the conference home opener for both teams. That'll be a 5:30, 7:30 start on Saturday night. Bear in mind the Missouri 8-man football championship will be played at Spratt Stadium on the Missouri Western campus during the day Saturday. So usually those conference Saturday games are 1:30, 3:30. Well, because of that, we're moving it back. So the Emporia games this Saturday at home, 5:30 for the women, 7:30 for the men. So be sure to pack loony and cheer loud. As this past Tuesday before Thanksgiving, that was really the only thing to recap from this past week, right? We had the holiday break and everything. You had volleyball get selected to the NCAA tournament last Monday. And then this past Tuesday, both basketball teams getting some non-conference victories. The women knocking off Lincoln University Tuesday 94-52. And men's basketball with a 78-77 overtime win against William Jewell this past Tuesday. What a thrilling game that was, with Gower, Missouri's Ethan Kilgore hitting the winning shot with 4 seconds left in overtime. Mentioned indoor track and field coach Cody Ingold will be along later in the program to talk about it, but the Mel Churchma Classic, that's going on all day this Saturday in Maryville from the Hughes Fieldhouse on the Northwest Missouri State campus. So that's what indoor track and field will be doing. Tell you what, and as it pertains to track and field, 3 All-American throwers from last season are back. So certainly throwing, I think that's going to be something that Cody Ingold's excited about. Former Griffon Jordan Garr hired as the throwers coach for Missouri Western. Sean Goswich joining as a running coach this year for Missouri Western. So track and field looking to do some big things in the indoor and then eventually the outdoor season as we go from 2024 and flip the calendar to 2025. Well, that's about all we got going. So Cody Ingold is here to talk track and field. Ashton Feldhaus will talk women's basketball with us. Jessica Fye will talk about volleyball. They're getting ready to go on the road for that tournament this week. And then Will Martin, of course, will talk men's basketball. And we'll have our coaches roundtable with all 4 of our head coaches today. So stick around. We got a good show for you over the next hour. With that, let's go ahead and take a break. And we will kick things off in the next segment with indoor track and field. Head coach Cody Ingold here to talk about the opening of the 2024-25 track season for his Griffins. So that's coming up in just a minute. You're listening to the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Network, and we'll be right back. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill as we're back. We had last Monday off in observation of the Thanksgiving holiday and fall break, but we're back with a good crowd here at Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach with the head coach of Missouri Western Cross Country, which has ended its season and now getting ready to turn the page to indoor track and field. Cody Ingold is here as the Griffins get ready for the Mel Churchman Classic this Saturday in Maryville at the Hughes Fieldhouse. Coach Ingold, it's feeling like indoor track season out there. Getting cold, winter's coming on, and here we go. I know your athletes have been working hard for days and for weeks, and first meet of the season, just how you feel entering the week?
How do you feel, Tommy, now that you're an engaged man? That's what I want to know.
I mean, it's weird. I'll tell you that. I don't know if it's fully set in yet.
You already got the wedding plan?
We're getting there, step by step.
It's miserable.
That's what I keep hearing. Can't wait. Can't wait.
Be helpful. Just be helpful, Tommy.
Yeah. Stay out of the way.
Yeah, we're ready to rock. I'm excited. We did entries today, so it was weird because, like, obviously we've been getting ready for track, but it was just today was kind of like we got to kind of get our butts in gear, be ready to turn the page here and be ready to rock in 6 days. So I'm excited to see some of these kids get out and do some things, get throwers out there and throwing.
Yeah.
They've been eager for a while, and, Jordan's done a really good job with that group. And, Batman getting back hurdling. Rhett, we're not going to have Rhett this indoor season, but, I'm excited. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. I'm still learning these nicknames. Batman is who again?
Alex Thompson. Sorry.
Okay, good.
Braden Alex Thompson.
Okay.
So that's where the Batman. I couldn't figure, when he was first coming, people were like, hey, we have a Braden, but we don't have an Alex. And I was like, I don't have a Braden, I have an Alex. And then, so when he came, I just called him Batman, and it stuck.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you talked about your throwers. I mean, that's where it starts, right? Alyssa Mahoney, Bella, as she's known, All-American in the hammer and discus in this past spring, and then a 2-time All-American indoor. Mackenzie Garr, sister of new thrower coach Jordan Garr, second-team All-American in shot put, both outdoor and indoor season. Of course, Lucas Trotter, a couple of top 20 finishes at nationals in shot put, both indoor and outdoor season. So that right there off the top, 3 All-Americans coming back. That's really exciting.
Yeah. It's exciting. They're ready to rock. They've huge fall. The weight room's done well with them. Jordan kind of implemented it because he came in mid-season last year, so he got to implement his own fall, which has been huge. So big in conditioning and doing that stuff. And I'm excited. He beat them up pretty good, but I think they're ready to rock. It sucks because you spend all this time getting ready. The main objective is to be ready in February, March, right, and then May. But you want them to throw well this first one, and it's all this build up for one weekend, and you don't get another try for 6 weeks. So it's like I don't put pressure on them, but the kids put a lot of pressure on themselves because we're doing everything we need to do to be successful, and we need it to pan out. So.
And then some names, obviously, I know distance-wise it was a pretty solid season for you, and so many of those cross-country runners, Wimach Gilo, Berhe Usman, Joshua Zachary, Peter Cuddy, looking forward to a good season, Lillian Cutler on the women's side. But in terms of runners, you mentioned Alex Thompson in hurdles, who had multiple accolades last year and some great finishes. Who are some other runners, field events that you're excited to see here?
I'm Tyrese in the triple jump. He figured it out late last year. He scored both indoor and outdoor, I believe. I think he scored indoor. And then outdoor, huge PRs. He's had a huge fall. Abby Henry's a freshman for us. Has jumped really well. Haley Sampson was more of a quarter-mile specialist that we started to dabble with jumping because she wanted to jump, and this is the first year we've really attacked it. So I'm excited to see her. I think she can jump. She's had some big stuff this fall, but practice isn't the same as meet. So hopefully she can put some stuff together. And then Anissa coming back for her senior year.
That's right.
So I'm excited to see her on the track. We're going to do kind of a long build with her, and her real events is the 400, but we're going to kind of focus on the 2 and the 60 until we're ready to run a good 4. And that's a good group, a good solid group. And Sammy in the 800, he didn't run this. He ran I think maybe 1 race this fall, not 2, but he's more of an 800 specialist. So He ended the year last year really well, so I'm excited to see what he can open up. It's the best he's ever looked, so I'm excited.
Well, this is certainly a very experienced group, right? 9 seniors on the women's team, 5 seniors, 4 grad students on the men's team. We're no longer in that phase of, founding members of this program, but we are in that phase of these are men and women who have been instrumental in shaping the program and moving it forward for all these seniors and grad athletes getting their last go-around this winter and spring. For them in particular, what does these next few months mean?
You talked. They weren't the first, but
right.
they are the rebuild.
Sure.
They are. Some of those are realistically my first recruiting class.
Yeah.
Because I've been here the whole time, but I didn't take over until COVID year, 2019, 2020. So realistically, our first, then coming back, COVID year, it counts but doesn't count. Our first real year, I feel like since that happened was 21-22. That was Hannah's senior year, and then we've kind of rebuilt off of that. So they're excited. They've left their legacy. They've helped build it to where it is, but they see where we're going, and they're excited about that. So I'm hoping that we can send them out with a bang, and they check all the boxes they need to over the next 6 months, and leave here happy and hopefully make millions and millions of dollars and donate it back to the program.
And record holders, medal winners, All-Americans, all-conference performers across the board with these upperclassmen in men's and women's track and field. Well, this Saturday, we've been in this event a lot, consecutive years, the Mel Churchman Classic. You set 4 school records. You had 6 gold medals at this event last year. I know it's not like a full-fledged meet, but you get some regional and some conference competition in there. What are you looking to achieve this Saturday?
I think it's actually pretty low-key, so that'll be good. It'll be good, just kind of, I hate the term rust buster, but that's what we'll use because I'm not.
That's what track likes to
say, I'm not cheeky enough to think of my own thing. So, a little rust buster, get out there, have some good competition, high-quality competition. I'm actually taking a small group with me, actually, to Washburn. Alex Thompson and the jumpers are going to go with me to Washburn and jump there.
This Saturday?
Yeah,
okay.
It's just their runway's got a little bit more pop, and we just want to get down there and take advantage of the shape and fitness we're in now.
Sure.
So then we come back. Conference is at Northwest. So we need to be able to jump on that pit, but we're going there 4 more times, I think. So we'll have plenty of opportunities. So we're going to take advantage of just, I'll take that select group. Coach Goose can take the helm with everybody else, and him and Jordan will handle the Northwest crew, and I'll eagerly just be refreshing results, and they probably won't ever work, but that's okay. It's not their fault. It's because I'll have 0 service in Topeka. So.
Oh, in that building?
Okay. Yeah, and when you put thousands of people in there, everybody's on their phone. It's not.
It's a traffic jam.
Yeah, it's all right,
for
though.
sure. So you'll have half of Missouri Western's athletes at
10.
Half.
Most of I'm only taking 5 total people to Washburn. Okay. Everybody else is going.
So 5 total to Washburn, and then about 95% more at Northwest for the Mel Churchman Classic. This Saturday, the Griffins did very well there last year, breaking 4 school records, winning 6 gold medals. Again, not a complete field, not the size of fields we'll see later in the season, but good opportunity to see some in-conference, in-region competition. And then after Saturday, the next track meet for Missouri Western will be the Coach Alsop Invite, January the 18th in Maryville. So that's a month and 11 days between competitions. So the Griffins, as Coach Ingold said, will get some chance to shake the dust, shake the rust, whatever you want to say. So good luck to all the Griffins going to Maryville, the vast majority, and the small handful going to Washburn University in Topeka. And, of course, we'll have results and thoughts from the coach on our website once it's all done at gogriffins.com. Coach Ingold, hope you enjoyed the break. Thanks for coming, and good luck this week.
Thanks, Tommy.
All right, there you go. All right, Cody Ingold to lead us off on this Griffon Sports Insider Podcast on this Monday. Let's take a break. Let's talk some more let's talk volleyball next is what I want to say. Postseason volleyball in the NCAA tournament for the first time in 7 years. Head coach Jessica Fye will come up and talk about this big matchup with Concordia St. Paul this Thursday being played in St. Cloud, Minnesota. We discuss it next. It's the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach as we talk Missouri Western volleyball, the last fall sport. Can you not hear it? Volume up. Connor, can you turn the speakers up? Woo! Okay. Maybe a little. Okay. All right. Everyone got us good. Where was I? Volleyball. Jessica Fye is here as Missouri Western is in the NCAA tournament in this sport for the first time in 7 years, the last fall sport to be going through their postseason journey. Coaches, a week ago, we found out where we would be. We're the number 5 seed in the Central Region. St. Cloud State, the regional host, as Missouri Western will take on Concordia St. Paul this Thursday. Well, we talked about it last Monday. You've had some time to think about it, go over it, think at this team that we've played 3 months ago in the season opener. Just, I know you're getting ready to go on the road soon, but just how you feel entering the week.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I think we played some high-level volleyball the last few weeks, so I know we're ready. So we just have to hope that the moment doesn't get bigger than what it is. But, there's a sense of familiarity since we played Concordia St. Paul. We feel good about that matchup. But, like you said, it's 3 months ago.
Yeah.
We're a lot different. They're a lot different. So we'll have to figure some things out and just adjust some things. But I think, in this region, unless you're the 1 seed, no matchup is comfortable. You're going to have to play 3 amazing games to make it out. And so we just have to take it one at a time and try to get past that first one.
Yeah, in a different venue, too. We played them in Golden, Colorado, September the 6th. It did go to 5 sets, but we lost to them in 5 sets. You talked about that a little bit after the Central Oklahoma game in the MIAA tournament, being 1-4 in those 5-set matches. I don't know. That's such a hard thing, right? Because that's sudden death. It's the first of 15. You know the match is going to end right there. How much can you and Izzy control that, right? It's like, hey, you got to want it more in the 5th set. Well, of course, both teams won it. But how can you control changing the tide in 5th sets?
I think that's where I was most frustrated after that loss to UCO was I didn't know what else I could do. I mean, all week, last few weeks, all we did in practices were prep to finish a set and finish a game and do it, and people need to step up and we have to be more aggressive, we have to have more intensity, and we just don't have the people. We get stuck in some of our weaker rotations, of course, in critical moments where we don't have that killer instinct in those hitters, and so that really sets us back. And so it's just an important mentality that they have to shift into, and even if that's not their natural mentality, if you're the 2 hitters that are in the front row in those critical moments, like, you have got to shift it into gear and get it done. And unfortunately, for 4 of those matches I went 5, we just didn't have that. It's almost like we're just waiting for them to mess up when we are feeling comfortable instead of earning points, which at this point we should be comfortable earning our own points.
Very good. Well, let's take a look at this opponent in a little greater detail. Concordia St. Paul, almost identical record. The Griffins 23-7. The Golden Bears are 23-6. Now, Concordia made the NSIC championship, but kind of got walloped by the top seed St. Cloud State in 4 sets. But Concordia St. Paul, they have been here a lot in the NCAA tournament with 12 regional titles, 9 national championships, the last of which was in 2017. This is a program that at one time had won 7 straight national titles in volleyball from 2007 to 2013, and they have made the dance each of the last 21 years under their current head coach. So, Coach, from that standpoint, it's our first bid in 7 years. It's our 5th bid in school history. As great as this season has been and as great of an opportunity this is kind of a David and Goliath matchup just in terms of these programs' history. But beyond that, how do you approach this matchup and what's been standing out as you've watched them on film? I heard you say that it's almost deceiving to watch that NSIC championship because they weren't at their best against St. Cloud. So with that in mind, how have you been watching them and processing them and stuff? Yeah,
just trying to get a little bit better of a grasp of, how are they when they're at their best, because that's what you want to prepare for. You don't want to prepare for them getting, not displaying their best. So we have to find a different match that we can watch that will display them at their best so we can prepare for that. And then just make a little bit of adjustments. But at this point in the season, like, both teams, we just got to go out and play our game, make some fine adjustments defensively on maybe some tendencies on where we're going to move some people. But for the most part, it's going to be who can execute and who can get it done and who can be the most consistent. How much pressure can we put on them to force them to make more errors than they usually do? And so, that's where we're going to have to start. We're going to have to apply a lot of pressure, and our team's got to be comfortable applying pressure. And I think once we kind of get into that groove, then we'll be able to roll. But if we allow them to apply pressure to us, then obviously that's not the upper hand we want.
Right. This will obviously be a big contest. Not only a rematch of this year's season opener, it's a rematch of a 2017 NCAA tournament regional semi. The last time Concordia won a national title, one of those wins came through Missouri Western in the second round. So the Griffins looking to turn the tide there and get one back on Concordia St. Paul, a team that beat the Griffins September 6th in Golden, but 3 months later matching up in this NCAA tournament Thursday afternoon at 4:30. It's available to stream on NCAA.com, but there'll be a radio broadcast as well right here on the Varsity Network app, gogriffins.com/listen. So we'll be there from Hallenbeck Hall in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Should the Griffins win, they face either St. Cloud State or Washita Baptist in the next round Friday night at 7 o'clock. So stay tuned all week long to GoGriffins.com for the latest on this run to the tournament. Coach Fye, congratulations, and we'll see you down there. Safe travels.
Thanks.
There you go. Jessica Fye joining us as tournament bound, NCAA tournament bound. That's Missouri Western volleyball. We haven't been able to say that in 7 years, so very exciting stuff there. Let's take a break. Let's shift gears to basketball as Missouri Western played this past Tuesday at the Missouri Western Fieldhouse in non-conference play, but now we go up the road to Maryville tomorrow to open MIAA play against Northwest. The women's basketball team's got a big challenge ahead. Northwest women's basketball off to a terrific start. We'll talk about it with our head coach, Ashton Feldhaus, next on the GSI podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. We continue from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach as we talk basketball now, women's basketball. Missouri Western with a record of 4-3 as they enter a busy week. Couple of conference games officially getting this MIAA slate underway. Coach Ashton Feldhaus is here, coming off of a 94-52 win against former MIAA member Lincoln on Tuesday night. Finally, officially, the home opener for the Griffins as the Griffs up 15 at halftime, taking control in the third quarter. And, Coach, we talked about it afterwards, that pretty satisfying night. You win all the major categories. You shoot it well. Everyone gets to play. You won that rebounding battle. Just your takeaways from the game 6 days ago.
No, I thought it was good for us, especially going into conference play. Good confidence game. Obviously, Lincoln has struggled. New coach, new players.
Yeah.
But I thought we did some things really, really well. Executed. We had spent all week working on certain things. You talked about it. Rebounding, which we hadn't won yet to this point.
Yeah.
Shooting again, and it was nice to be at home shooting. I thought we checked those boxes. I thought our post players, we had kind of been hammering them. We need some back to the basket play. I thought we did that. So, yeah, we checked a lot of boxes. And, again, it was like a tune-up game right before we start this conference play.
For sure. Now, you talk about rebounding. I could, see it and hear it, some of the frustration during the rebounding, those rebounding battles on Tuesday night. But you do out-rebound Lincoln 37-28. Now, on average, this team getting out-rebounded early, 42-36, 101-59 on the O boards. You talk about running this 5-out offense, everyone starting on the outside. I guess I'm just curious, when you run this kind of shooter-heavy style, does that leave you susceptible to rebounding, or how do you control the boards while also being kind of the shooter-heavy perimeter offense?
We always talk about rebounding as an effort category. So at first it was an effort problem, and then it was okay, now we're rebounding, but now it's a technique problem. And now it's just getting the ball. Like it hits our hands and we don't grab it. So we've just drilled them in practice on we've researched all sorts of stuff to try and just it's got to be at the forefront of their mind. It was in the back of their mind. I don't think 5-out necessarily hurts us when it comes to offensive rebounding. I think it's more defensive rebounding because we're giving up so many offensive rebounds. But we also have played some teams where their misses are long misses. These are, I know when we played at Moorhead, we got drilled on the offensive boards. And then we went back and watched. We are blocking out, but the balls, the misses are, they're bouncing way out. So those are hard to get. We want to get the ones that are ours to have, and then we want to get at least half of those, if not more, those 50-50 basketballs, right? The long rebounds that you have to chase down and grab. But we're slowly but surely getting there. But it's taken us a while as a staff. Like, we're watching, and I'm like, no, we're blocking out, but we've got to get away from wrapping our arms around people to getting snatching the rebound out of the air above your shoulders, all sorts of stuff. And we've hammered them with film because I think it helps seeing it. So now it should be in the forefront of their mind. It's like our main focal point every day at practice, that, and then taking care of our turnovers a little bit better. But they're really receptive to it. They watch and they're like, geez, that should be ours to get. So they're a good bunch in that way.
Yeah. Well, one positive thing I know is the assist category. We had almost 30 assists in that game on Tuesday, and I think I saw it on your socials that sharing it, get into multiple sides, unselfish basketball, especially when you got those steals in the transition game. Seemed like everyone got involved, and that's how it's supposed to look, right? 94 points and lots of threes. Yeah,
lots of threes for sure, but more than that, we were making 5 and 6 passes before we ever shot the basketball. I think we looked yesterday. Alyssa's top 5 in the country in assists per game, and she should be number 1 because she's slowly figuring it out, right? She thinks she has to take on the world sometimes, and she doesn't. She's got all sorts of teammates. So we're finally figuring out placement, like where to go, where to cut, where to round behind people who are driving and flipping their hips. So the assist category, we always want to have more assists than we do turnovers. And that took us a while to figure that out. But again, in practice, we're doing a lot better taking care of the ball, going off 2 feet. We don't do anything off 1 foot. We try to get to a jump stop and then pivot, kind of old school basketball. But I think they're slowly but surely seeing the benefits of it. And if we can just keep them on that trajectory, I think we're going to be good.
Well, let's look at the slate ahead this week as starts tomorrow. 15th ranked Northwest Missouri State waits for us at Bearcat Arena. They're 7-1. Now, they did have a game this past Saturday against Mission University. If you're not familiar, Mission plays in the NCCAA, same league as Kansas Christian, who we played last year, and they got a win there. But more maybe impressively is just their strength of schedule. They've played three top 5 opponents, beat Minnesota State, the defending national champions, at Civic Arena, and they've been able to really partner some great guard play. Kaylee Keston, one of the best in the league right now, and they're always big. They're always physical. They can defend and pack the paint, and that's a team like Missouri Western that made the NCAA tournament last year. So starting there, what's the big key tomorrow?
They cut the game in half with their pace. It's not a transition team. I think in their first 4 games, you're talking about all those good teams, they had 8 fast break points in the first 4 games of the season. Yeah. So, and we're averaging, I think, 16 plus, right? So it's a clash of styles in that way that they like to cut the game in half. But when you look at what they run, they're a Princeton team. Everything is a splits. It's a 3-action, 3-man game. They bring their 5 out. So it's going to be getting stops. They like to post all their guards. You mentioned it. They have the strong guards, and their points in the paint are how they're blowing everybody out of the water. So it's can we manage interior, and that's with them posting the Alyssas, the Maries, our smaller guards. And then can we get out in transition, get stops and scores back and forth? Because 6 to 8 points in a game like that is a lot because they do not score a lot of baskets. They're okay is playing that like low 40s and 50s game, just out executing teams, and that's why they are so good.
Yeah, we beat them 5 straight times, and every time we talked about it the last few years, it's always like, can Missouri Western speed up the game or can Northwest slow it down? And the last time Northwest beat us, December of 21, they grinded it to a halt and beat us 50-49. It's what they do. Austin Myers built his reputation on that. It's working out for him. Now let's talk about Emporia just briefly. They're 3-4 right now. They lost at Missouri S&T this past Wednesday. So Emporia, they'll host Northwest Thursday the 5th, and then we'll go to Missouri Western on Saturday the 7th. Former Missouri Western assistant Brian Osterman, longtime right-hand man to Jeff Mitty in his 2nd year as head coach at Emporia. Northwest is first, I know, but anything you know on the Hornets at this point?
Guard heavy.
As they've been.
And they shoot a lot of threes just the same. They do play at a pace just the same. It'll be, can we go back to the basket some with our post players, which I think we can. So they're guard heavy. You have to defend the 3-point line. They have a lot that shoot at a high percentage, and they shoot a lot of them. So it's really not letting them speed us up, out execute them. And they've had some great games, and then they've had some games where they've struggled. So they're a little bit streaky when you're watching them. It's like, that's really good. And then they have some games where you're like, we can handle that. So I think they're, that's just, especially, it helps us being at home, of course, but I think that's a game where it comes down to execution. Like, can we out execute Emporia? And again, stops and scores. And then we have to win the rebounding margin. With a team that shoots a lot of threes, you're talking about those long rebounds again. Can we win the battle of the boards?
That's one thing these 3 teams have in common, Emporia, Northwest Western. They all opened their season at Civic Arena in those regional challenges. And Emporia, they had to open against Minnesota State, but they beat Sioux Falls, they beat Wayne State. So they have some impressive wins, and they drop one to Newman. They drop one to East Central. So kind of a mixed bag there with Emporia, who's 3-4, but Northwest off to a great start at 7-1. But Missouri Western at 4-3, winners of back-to-back games now, and looking to take that momentum on the road and looking for what would be a 6th consecutive win against Northwest. And bear in mind, we ended Emporia's season this past March at Muni in Kansas City in the MIAA tournament. So no doubt they'll be motivated for that one. The conference home opener at 5:30 this coming Saturday for Missouri Western. Coach Feldhaus, thanks for the time. Good luck this week.
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
All right, there you go. Ashton Feldhaus joining us here on the program. Yeah, we'll have those games for you live right here on the Griffon Sports Network. Always look forward to making a trip to our neighbors up north. Always a packed house, good environment, good basketball. And then we look forward to being home for conference play this Saturday. Let's take a break. Let's keep the hoops talk rolling with head coach Will Martin, Missouri Western men's basketball. Yeah, they have a hot start right now at 7-1, and they too look to take that that momentum into Maryville tomorrow night and against Emporia Saturday. We talk with Coach Martin about it next on the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Rolling on from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on the Griffon Sports Insider Podcast. I'm Tommy Rezach as we enter the second half hour of the program. Leading off now with Missouri Western men's basketball and head coach Will Martin. The team now at 7-1, winners of 7 straight, fresh off of a thrilling win against William Jewell on Tuesday night, 78-77. Coach, I know probably maybe a little more than you bargained for there, getting down, and then 2 straight games, right? You're down in the second half by double digits, but you find a way to pull it out, and William Jewell always gives us our best. That's a good team that just made the NCAA tournament last year, but yeah, you get a good win against a good team. You go into the holiday break, feeling grateful, feeling good about where you're at. Just overall takeaways from Tuesday night.
Well, first of all, in much bigger news, because it's been a while since we've
2 weeks since
we
been
had
up
2
here.
weeks because we had a break. According to social media, you had a big engagement recently, didn't you? Huh?
Yeah.
How'd it go? Where'd you ask?
Weston, Missouri. That's where our first date
Oh,
was.
Weston is beautiful.
It is.
Did you, on your first date, did you take her for ice cream down there?
No, we went to like a winery and then we went to O'Malley's after. Yeah.
Weston is a good play, man.
Yeah, we've been there. We've frequented there. It's just fun to go hang out.
So first date was in Weston. So you take her back there. Where did you ask her in Weston?
So last weekend they were doing a tree lighting in their city park, which was on a Friday. I was covering volleyball, so I couldn't be there. But I was like, well, surely after the lighting ceremony it's going to look good, right? The park's going to be all lit up. And it was. The whole thing was she wanted to go see Christmas lights, so I wanted to tie it in there somehow. And Weston obviously has sentimental value, so I was like, what if we just go to Weston, look at lights, and then just do it? And she didn't suspect it, so. Yeah.
So she was surprised.
She was, yeah. I mean, she'd been asking me for a while, but that night in particular, she did not know. No.
Did you have any anxieties at all that she might say no?
No, it was a lot more anxiety provoking, talking to her parents beforehand, who are great, but that to me that was the more scary part. Yeah.
So when you that gives me a lot of respect for you. Old traditional way, you ask pops.
Yeah.
You got the blessing.
Yeah.
How long before you asked did you ask her parents?
It was like 5 days probably. Yeah. You can interview me anytime, by the way. I'm enjoying this.
That's big life news, man.
It is. Yeah.
So when's the wedding?
We don't know yet. Maybe late summer this year if we can pull it off, but it's maybe looking like the following summer, just, planning and all that.
I want to be involved with the hashtag for that wedding.
Yeah, we'll involve you. Yeah.
Me and Cody Ingold could probably come up with something
man.
pretty witty.
Yeah, witty and family friendly. But, yeah, let's talk William Jewell, huh?
Yeah, I think that we've had back-to-back games now where we were down 15-plus points late and found a way to win, which it's great in one hand, but, the message that we're talking with our team is, like, there's a difference in expecting to win and assuming that you're going to win, and I felt like in the Arc Tech game when we got down late, we had this expectation that we were going to find a way to win, and we did. I felt like against Jewell, we just kind of assumed that we were going to get there, and, we got to make sure that doesn't happen again. There's a difference in expectation and assumption. But I am proud of the fact that our guys stuck together. We didn't make a ton of adjustments until really late in the game, and I was really proud. We started to switch 1 through 5, which we don't really practice, and our guys did a really good job, Keani especially. And so, big moments for a lot of our guys. We're really showing that, we do have experience. We're capable of leveraging that. But we can't get comfortable, and we got to stay humble and hungry at the same time.
You talking of Arkansas Tech, you're down like 14, 12 minutes to go. Almost a similar deal here. You're down 15 with about 13 minutes to go. Any common denominators as to, what leads to that? And obviously it's great to know it's like, hey, we've been down, we can face that, and we can overcome it. A great quality to have, especially for a team that, lost some close games like that last year. But that being said, what can you take from these last two and go, okay, here's how we can maybe not get down like this again?
Yeah, well, in terms of, like, what allows us to do that, I think that, you and I talked a lot in the preseason. I felt like in practice that our group exhibited characteristic of being very stoic, and so the ability to not get too high and not get too low, I think, helps you in those moments. In terms of not putting ourselves in that position again, we got to guard. I mean, it all starts on the defensive end, and so I think our guys are starting to realize that when our offense is really good, it's a product of our defense being super locked in. Our coverages are really good, our rotations are really good, and really good defense turns into really good offense. When we're not guarding, we put ourselves in those predicaments. And so I think that, this past week it's been really honing back in on our defense and focusing on that side of the ball, making sure that we value our matchups, making sure that we value our coverages, and that we're constantly helping each other, because, that's the game of basketball, is that it's not just a one-on-one matchup. It's team defense, and we all have to be on the same page in everything that we do. And so my staff has done a great job all year with the scouts. I feel like we know what the other team is doing. Our guys have to take ownership in the team defense.
Two guys that I think, we've talked about, and, they've kind of had their moments, but just bears repeating, Ethan Kilgore getting that game-winning moment to so many family and friends that come to watch him all the time growing up locally. But he and Justin Bubak, these are two guys who have barely gotten to play the last 2 seasons. In the case of Justin, the basketball future, maybe he didn't know if he'd come back fully or not. But two guys that have been healthy, super effective, their senior years, to be doing what they're doing, they become major factors in these games. Man, that could pay dividends going forward. Not only that, but also it's a feel-good thing, right? Two guys that have really been through the peaks and valleys. Yeah,
in a world now where it's the norm for kids to either leave or quit when things get tough, I think that, the stories of Ethan Kilgore and Justin Bubak make you sit back and be grateful for the fact that there's still a semblance of toughness and a semblance of culture in our game, not just here at Missouri Western, but in general, because those are two kids that very easily could have just quit playing or could have transferred or could have hung it up. And so they both battled injuries, they both battled adversities, and so for us as a staff to be able to sit back and kind of watch them be able to reap the benefits of the labor that they've put in the training room, in the strength room, and on the court, it's pretty special.
Let's talk about what we've got coming up this week. It's a battle it's 2 games where we're taking on new head coaches, first-year head coaches at their respective places. At Northwest tomorrow, home to Emporia State Saturday. Of course, Matt Keeley at Northwest, and then Tom Billiter at Emporia. Billiter, after being the head coach at Augustana for 21 years, so you've coached against him, played against him before, and Matt Keeley coming from NAIA Ottawa in Arizona. 2 teams that probably aren't where they want to be right now. Northwest is 1-5, Emporia is 2-5. But you look at the strength of schedule, these two, like Missouri Western, have played a lot of regional teams. Northwest, they played 4 regional opponents. Emporia, they own a win against Northern State. The Hornets played in our house in the Hilliard Tip-Off Classic, so got to see them up close there. But starting with, tomorrow, it's a place we haven't won in 15, 16 years. January 2009 is the last time we came out of Bearcat Arena with a win. But that doesn't matter quite as much just in terms of this year's Northwest team. What's the big standouts here?
Yeah, first of all, you mentioned their 1-5 record. I thought that Coach Hood did a fantastic job yesterday with the guys, really painting a picture of the reality of the fact that this Northwest team, they're 51-4 in the last 5 years at home, and this is their home opener.
Yep.
I don't think they've lost a home opener in 15 years. And so, we can't look at their record. We also can't look at, the past and the history in terms of where we haven't had success there. I think that, we're focused on this moment. We have to have a great practice today. But, in terms of their style, it's completely different. I think they have a chance to be a really good team. Anytime you bring in a new coach and you have new players, it takes time. I know that they want to play fast and get up and down the court, and in the games that they've done that, they've made it really hard on their opponent. They have a couple guys that came back, so they've won multiple national championships, so they're guys that know how to win. When you look at Mustakis and Shomers and Byron Alexander, who's been out, but we expect him to play, they have guys who've weathered the storms and have also had a ton of success. And then they brought in some really good players like Emery Knox, who's their point guard. I think that he's a kid that any given night can go off for 25 or 30. And so, for us, it's going to be not the past, not who they've been, not who we've been, not the records, but it's about our process. It's about what we've done this year to prepare ourselves to become the best team that we can possibly be. And for us, we're still trying to chase the best version of us. And so that's the focus, just being really maniacal about our process, not getting too caught up in it. But I will say, because it's like a paradox, it's a double-edged sword. Like I don't want anyone to get it twisted. Like the Northwest game, like it is a rivalry, you know, and like I don't want to dismiss that. And so it has history for a reason, and we want to honor that tradition. But for us right now in this moment, it's the biggest game because it's the next game, not because it's Northwest.
I want to ask you, with it being the Northwest week, what's going on up the road in Des Moines? You know, when we beat Northwest in January, there's 4 guys in that lineup who are now starting at the Division I level, winning at the Division I level, like a Mitch Mascari, like a Daniel Abreu, so on and so forth. And they're 7-0 right now. And to me, it's so funny seeing all these national writers saying, man, that Ben McCullum, he can coach. It's like, we've known this. And to see all these players who were D2 succeed in this league and at Drake, I mean, obviously, you know, they were our rivals. They were our adversaries when they were at Northwest. But to see a D2 coach take a D2 lineup, a lineup that we own a win against, and have that kind of success at that level probably speaks pretty well to the amount of talent we have here in this league, on this campus, and in Division II.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Ben texted me after they beat Vandy in the Charleston Classic Championship, and he said, hey, isn't it crazy that your team last year beat the team that just won the Charleston Classic? And, you know, he was being funny, but he was objectively speaking to what you're speaking of in terms of how good this level is. Mm-hmm. You know, because don't forget, they drove us by 40 in the MIAA tournament. Yeah. So, you know, I'm always going to eat my humble crow. But we did get them here last year, and very few people have done that. But it shows just how elite this level is in terms of the talent, in terms of the coaches, in terms of the preparation and the scouts. And, you know, I think that it's a little different. I was telling my staff this the other day, like, there's been success stories of D2 coaches moving up and having success. I don't know how many D2 coaches have taken a full roster and had success. And, again, that's what you were alluding to in your question. I think that it's great for our game. I think that it's great for D2 coaches. Like, I look at guys like John Hood, who should be a head coach here soon in the next year or two. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, it was his scout last year when we beat Northwest at home. Yeah. And so now you look at Ben McCullum and the success that he's having, you know, that should help John Hood out with jobs. It should. And I think that, like, you know, it makes us proud at this level to see what Ben's doing. Yeah. And we want him to continue to have success, because you look at the John Hoods and the Weston Smiths and the guys that are grinding it out for no pay hardly at all. And it's like, hey, these guys can really coach. And then these players can really play. Yeah. You know, I'm looking at Tay Fields, who's averaging, 10 points a game, and it seems like he's getting 8 or 9 rebounds every night. You know, I think that people get kind of messed up with this transfer stuff sometimes. Like, I sit there and I watch Tay's games, and I'm like, man, you know, that's a success story for Missouri Western. He's going to get his degree from UNA. He won a lot of games here.
It's his home state down there.
He got to play at Auburn, which was like his dream. So now, awesome. You know, when he's a granddad, he can say that he played at Ruff Arena when he was at Missouri West. And so anyways, like, going back to I'm kind of going everywhere here, but like, to your question, I think that when people are able to come to this level and have success and then move on and show that they can do it at the next level, I think that that's great for our sport. I think that it's great for young professionals. I think that it's great for our players, for people to respect and know that, like, this is the big time where we're at. Yeah. You know, like, the big time doesn't exist somewhere else. It's right here in St. Joseph, Missouri, at Missouri Western, and you know, you can go anywhere you want from here. And so, kudos to Ben McCullum and what he's doing at Drake. Kudos to our league for putting people on a platform to have those type of opportunities. And hopefully they continue to win and have success. And hopefully the Griffs continue to win and have success.
Amen to that. Griffins are 7-1, again taking on Northwest Tuesday, Emporia Saturday. Just briefly on Emporia, you know, you coached against Tom Biller and Augustana last year. Craig Doty, he got the D1 call to Houston Christian, I believe it was. And so, you know, I had a chance to see them play in St. Joe and probably watch them on film. Anything about Emporia that stands out?
No, I got a text from Coach Hood last night because he just knows me so well, and he's like, please don't watch any more Northwest, because what happens once I get to a certain level of watching, after I've watched 1,800 times and I've watched every clip, then I come into practice like a zombie, and I have, like, I think I'm this mad scientist, which I'm not, and I'm trying to throw in like 8 new different coverages and 20 new different plays. And so I'm like on the Northwest abyss rabbit hole, and my staff is pulling me out of that. I haven't even thought about Emporia. Now, we got to watch Emporia twice when they were in the Hilliard, and then we played Billiter last year, as you said, and when we played them, that was the first time that we had played. So I went back to like the late 1990s and the early 2000s watching Billiter's teams play in the past. So I have a pretty good idea of what they like to do defensively and what they've been doing for the last 20 years offensively. He's a really good coach. He's won a national championship. But, yeah, I'm kind of in the Northwest rabbit hole abyss right now. So we'll see on Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Playing Northwest tomorrow, and these are both night games, by the way. Tuesday at 7:30, Saturday at 7:30. Missouri Western taking on a couple of first-year head coaches in the MIAA. Not first year in their career, but first year at their respective places. Matt Keeley at Northwest, Tom Billiter at Emporia. So a couple good tests here. Coach Martin, we'll see you back here for the panel.
Congrats on the engagement, Tommy.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, there you go. Will Martin joining us, and he will join us with Ashton Feldhaus, Cody Ingold, and Jessica Fye for our Coaches Roundtable. That's next on the GSI podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Back on our Coaches.
Tommy.
Wow.
Can we talk about, since I have you and Ingold right here, I don't want to miss it.
We're good.
Can we please
hey, she's from Nebraska too.
Why didn't they shake the hands though? Like
that's actually a very good point.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
Good discussion
is that who
point,
y'all are? Like, cause
No.
y'all are huge Nebraska fans.
I wasn't for it. And I'm big into like poking the bear, but not that way. Like that's
They
disrespectful.
didn't shake hands after the game?
No, at the beginning.
Before the game,
they wouldn't
went
shake
up, they were like,
captains. Yeah.
I'm not gonna shake your hand.
Before the coin toss. Yeah.
We're gonna go score 10 points here.
I didn't
Okay.
understand the Matt Rule, like walking through there.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
I always watch the other team's warm up. I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I do that, but not shaking the hand. I've been waiting to talk to you guys about that.
Nah, I wasn't
don't know
for
about
it.
that.
Yeah, that I wasn't for it either, but that being said, I mean, people were losing their minds on Twitter about that Saturday morning, and then Michigan, Ohio State have like a,
Flaggate.
Yeah.
Flags everywhere.
College football was on something. Everybody was planting flags and throwing punches. I mean, it got kind of crazy this past weekend. But, you've cut me off sometimes. That was like record. That was a nanosecond.
I didn't want to miss it. I didn't want to miss it.
So, yeah, good.
Friday.
To you.
I was worried about Tommy on Friday. Like he sent me a text, and
I
I
was rage texting.
only saw like one line, so I was like, I'll deal with it tomorrow. And then I clicked on it, and it was a paragraph underneath that I missed. I was like, oh, he's fired up. I need to check on Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy.
And this is after he left me on red for like 2 days because I congratulated him on the engagement, and he didn't even respond. And I was like, really, Tommy? And then I sent something about the football game. Nothing.
Tommy, can you turn
Yeah.
my headphones down? I'm going deaf.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Appreciate that.
my apologies.
Okay.
I got no snare.
Really
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah. Well, we didn't get to
Eminem reference.
That was good. We didn't get to do a show the week of Thanksgiving, but I'll just ask you a simple one. What was the best thing you did on the break? What was the most fun part of your break?
I took 2 naps in one day.
Nice.
You know how great that is?
Sounds awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was the best thing ever.
Good for you.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The toddler was at daycare. Had a whole day to myself.
Adios.
Yeah.
Well, how was that? You have a team Thanksgiving every year. How was that?
It was good. We
Yeah.
we only played 4 games in December, but we loaded our November with 10 games, so it's just been exhausting. It's just a game every 2 games every week. So yeah.
You guys tipped off a month ago. That's crazy to think about. Cody, how about you? was a break.
You know how I feel about Thanksgiving, so it was just a normal week.
Oh yeah, you were probably
Yeah.
just blaring Christmas music.
Yeah,
and-
the whole time. Yeah.
getting in the spirit.
Tommy Prophet, The Birth of a King live. It was a great concert. You should listen to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ashton, how about you? I know this is a busy time for you and Kendall and the team, but what was the best part of this break here for you?
Was it the cold?
Oh, yeah. We're not quite acclimated to that yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe same as Phi. I took a nap, I think, but
Yeah.
I'm same as Will. Especially from traveling, I feel
Yeah.
like catching up on sleep that week was the main
Yeah.
thing. So
I know it can be hard sometimes too, living out of state, not getting to see family and stuff too. But glad to just have a moment of peace, I think, is a big thing. Just kind of staying on this theme again. This is stuff maybe I would have asked last Monday. We think of Thanksgiving as like the one day we can give thanks, but I think it can be year round. What are you coaches? It could be personal, professional, anything. What are you most grateful, thankful for in your life right now?
Family for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The health of my little ones, my wife, that's huge, especially since my
Yeah.
wife keeps everything in order. So,
Yeah.
Runs the show well.
yeah.
Amen. Yeah. How about you guys?
You, Tommy. It's
Oh
you.
wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's always been you.
Oh Lord. You're just in a romantic mood today,
I
aren't
think
you?
everyone's going to say family, Tommy.
Yeah,
You can't
probably.
not say family.
This is one of those questions where Menley tells me, like, don't ask because they're all just going to say something. But I wanted to ask, like, genuinely.
Forget that. I hate my family. They suck. I'm not grateful for them. Wow. I'm kidding.
Hey, make sure when you
I haven't
clip
slept in 2
when you-
days.
when you clip that, take the "I'm kidding" part out and
Yeah.
just blast it on social media.
My family knows.
And then tag his wife.
Yeah.
The real know. The real know.
The new GSI promo right there.
I need one of your naps. I need a nap.
Yeah, they were great.
I'm
let me tell you.
genuinely curious. Well, I know you like coffee. I know you're a night owl. Like, how many hours a night of sleep are you averaging in the season?
He's unhealthy. We've talked
I mean,
about
it's
it.
wild, man. Yeah.
He doesn't change.
It's not good.
No.
Probably like 3.
I was going to say
Okay.
3.
Like
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Oh, I
hope
would
you-
not function.
And
Hope
we've
you-
talked about it. He's tried everything. He's tried teas. He's tried, he's tried everything under the sun, and he can't sleep.
Yeah.
I thought working out would
Yeah.
help.
Ashton, I'm curious. You're in
Just
season
decrease
2.
stress.
Is it? Yeah. How much does that affect your sleep schedule during the season?
Kendall says all the time, I got to change my lifestyle. I wake up at 4 and I'll send her a Snapchat. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like my body is clockwork. 4 a.m. I'm up. Doesn't matter what time I go to bed, and I'm just, the wheels just
So you can
spin.
get so much done at 4 a.m. though, because no one to bother you. Like from 4 to 7, I get so much done in the morning.
You wake up at 4?
My son wakes me up at 4. He's like, Dad, can we go downstairs? I'm like, to do what? The same thing you do in your room? And so we go downstairs, and then he leaves me alone, and I just work or do whatever I'm doing and read. Yeah.
Okay. Well, last thing, coaches, it's December 2nd today. It's a couple of things. First off, it's Bartender Appreciation Day, so I want to thank our bartender serving staff at High Hope Bar and Grill for hosting us and putting up with us. But also today, ironic, it's the Monday after fall break, but today is National Skip School Day. I'm curious, in your childhood, what was either like your best hooky story or what was like a cool thing that your parents took you out of school, to go attend or to go to or what? Any good skipping school stories?
I didn't have cool parents.
Mine were
I had to, like,
teachers.
pretend to
They
be
were
sick.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, that's true.
It's
Teachers
like,
and
oh, I have a
coaches.
headache. Oh, I'm puking. Like, you had to make up your own lies.
Yep.
My parents were great parents, but I didn't have to ask to leave school. I just didn't go.
Oh,
So
that's
it was,
surprising.
yeah, it was, hey, I had great grades, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I think once I hit my sophomore year, so I think my sophomore, junior, and senior year, my mom, which was really cool, my mom let me skip school to go watch the SEC tournament because it used to always be hosted in Nashville.
Yep.
And so once I got my driver's license, so I think it was my sophomore year.
Yeah.
She would give me 2 tickets. I can invite whatever friend I wanted. Of course, their parents would have to be on board with them skipping school too, and that was pretty cool. Might be the reason why I'm a coach today, for my mom allowing me to skip school. How about that?
Wow.
Good job, Amy Martin.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Too bad you're not grateful for her.
This is the most Nebraska thing ever. My dad used to let my brother and I skip school to go with him to this thing called Husker Harvest Days in central Nebraska. It's this big showcase. It's literally
Husker Harvest.
It's Husker Harvest Days. It's this showcase. It's literally in a field. It's where the state fair is in Grand Island, and it's just equipment and free stuff and just it's people trying to sell stuff before fall harvest, and it's
Husker
awesome.
Harvest.
The food is delicious. Yeah, so got to do that like 3 years in a row.
That sounds wonderful.
It's actually
Husker
awesome.
Harvest.
Yeah,
You're
check
probably
it
not
out.
busy during that time. You could probably make it up there one day.
I should go.
It's
with him.
October.
And his new
Next
fiance.
year.
I could be your third wheel.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Husker Harvest.
Sounds terrific. All right, well, coaches, thank you for the time, and good luck to all of you this week. Thanks for
Thanks,
coming
Tommy.
here. All right, there you go. That'll put the bow on another Griffon Sports Insider podcast. All right, yeah, basketball tomorrow. We've got volleyball in the NCAA tournament Thursday, and then Saturday, home to Emporia State for hoops, and then track and field at Northwest for the Mel Churchma Classic. So good luck to all of our Griffins competing home and away this week. That is the Griffon Sports Insider podcast for today. Please subscribe to the GSI podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you podcast. And we'll be back next Monday, December 9th. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. So long.